Good morning. Welcome to Just for Today. I just realized that I need to change my opening slide because I changed the name of this. And it is 365 days of eclectic readings, but they're really just for today. That's the focus. So, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Reverend Rafe Ellis, Senior Minister and Spiritual Leader at the Columbia Center for Spiritual Living in Columbia, Maryland. And the way this goes is I've got a bunch of daily reading things. And so I pick one at random every morning. I don't pre read it, I don't pre contemplate it. I just pick it, and here we go. So today's comes from a booklet called Just for Today that is published by the 12-Step Fellowship Narcotics Anonymous. And here's what the reading for January 2nd offers us. The title of it is Take a Deep Breath and Talk to God. And the initial quote comes from page 44 of the basic text. Sometimes when we pray, a remarkable thing happens. We find the means, ways, and energies to perform tasks beyond our capabilities. So the Just for Today reading is this. Coping successfully with life's minor annoyances and frustrations is sometimes the most difficult skill we have to learn in recovery. We are faced with small inconveniences daily, from untangling the knots in our children's shoelaces to standing in line at the market. Our days are filled with minor difficulties that we must somehow deal with. If we're not careful, we find ourselves dealing with these difficulties by bullying our way through each problem or grinding our teeth while giving ourselves a stern lecture about how we should handle them. These are extreme examples of poor coping skills. But even if we're not this bad, there's probably room for improvement. Each time life presents us with another little setback to our daily plans, we can simply take a deep breath and talk to the God of our understanding, knowing that we can draw patience, tolerance, or whatever we need from that power. We find ourselves coping better and smiling more. And so the affirmation for this reading today is just for today. I will take a deep breath and talk to my God, whenever I feel frustrated. Just for today, I will take a deep breath and talk to my God whenever I feel frustrated. So this is a time where I invite folks to interact in the chat function. I have it up so regardless of what platform you're on, I can see the chat here in StreamYard. It's a beautiful function. And so we get to have a conversation about what resonates with you about the reading, what doesn't resonate, how you're interpreting it, really whatever you choose to share. Did it light something up in you? I know for me, I really appreciate the initial quote. We find means, ways, and energies to perform tasks far beyond our capacities. And I really like that it's a God of our understanding. It's a God of your understanding. That God, however we define that, is big enough to be what we each understand it to be based on our interaction with it. Metaphysically, what we teach and what I understand is that I am never separate from whatever this is that creates. And that any label limits my idea and therefore my experience of that. And so, even though I use words because I kind of like communicating here on planet Earth, I'm always reminding myself that whatever I'm speaking about is so much more than the label can contain. I love in the Jewish faith tradition that the reference to God is 4 letters because they mean nothing. And it's an acknowledgement that the infinite is beyond definition, it is unnameable. And so, of course, when I connect with that, I find energies and capacities that I was unaware I had. And my experience is the more connected I am to that, the more of those experiences I have. How about you? Anybody care to share? And the other thing that I recognize, and then we'll go into our meditation if no one wants to interact this morning, and that's fine. It's an opportunity. It's certainly not a demand. Um, is this dance of God that is the essence of me and simultaneously outside of me? And it's that constant dance of letting it be both, to really lean into the both and rather than an either or, which is challenging on planet Earth because our human conditioning tends to be either or, big or little, up or down, right or left. And spirituality is truly the all inclusive both and, all and. And so navigating that really can be tricky. Um, I think that's why we call it spiritual practice. Yeah. Okay. So if no one has anything that they want to share, um, we're going to go into a very brief period of meditation, just 5 minutes to begin to learn how to practice meditation. And then I will bring us out of the meditation with an opening, with a spiritual mind treatment, also known as affirmative prayer. Um, we can call it chatting with our higher power, chatting as our higher power. Really call it whatever you want that works for you. That's the beauty of it. And I see that now we have 4 folks on. And so, maybe just because we have time. So let me reread today's selection from Just for Today, published by the 12-Step Fellowship of Narcotics Anonymous. The title of it is Take a Deep Breath, Talk to God. And the initial quote comes from page 44 of the basic text. Sometimes when we pray, a remarkable thing happens. We find the means, ways, and energies to perform tasks far beyond our capacity. And then the reading is this. Coping successfully with life's minor annoyances and frustrations is sometimes the most difficult skill we have to learn in recovery. We are faced with small inconveniences daily, from untangling the knots in our children's shoelaces to standing in line at the market. Our days are filled with minor difficulties that we must somehow deal with. If we're not careful, we find ourselves dealing with these difficulties by bullying our way through each problem or grinding our teeth while giving ourselves a stern lecture on how we should handle them. These are extreme examples of poor coping skills, but even if we're not this bad, there's probably room for improvement. Each time life presents us with another little setback to our daily plans, we can simply take a breath and talk to God, the God of our understanding, knowing that we can draw patience, tolerance, or whatever we need from that power. We find ourselves coping better and smiling more often. In the affirmation for today, I will take a deep breath and talk to my God whenever I feel frustrated. So I see we have some activity in the chat. Yay! Pinecone 13. Welcome. Actually talking or conversing to God isn't something I do. I communicate through my written thanks and desires. Excellent. And congratulations on your sobriety. You know, I think the beauty for me of true spirituality over religion is that we get to do it however it resonates for us. And for me, as a minister of metaphysics, of new thought, whatever we call it, the bottom line is what I'm doing bringing more joy, more peace, more life to myself, and at the same time, harming no one or no thing? That for me, it goes to that whole idea of the common welfare must come first. That my spiritual journey really depends on taking ownership of how it impacts the whole of creation, to live into that in a completely spiritual way rather than just isolating it to a particular problem. And however we create and maintain a conscious contact with our higher power, I think is exactly perfect because everybody does it different. Yes, spirituality to me equals being quiet. That's certainly one of the ways that I connect. So I can certainly relate to that. And so let's practice that. I know there are some folks that are joining this activity to actually build a practice of meditation. And so we're going to take 5 minutes, go into a period of meditation and contemplation. I invite you to just be with the process, to, as much as you can, avoid any level of frustration. If you have thoughts that come up, just notice them and allow them to do whatever they do. My experience is it's much easier to meditate when I just let those thoughts have their dance through the field of my mind. Because the minute I latch onto them and try to not think about them, I anchor them in place, and my whole meditation becomes frustrating to try to get rid of that thought. And so I invite you to just be with it. Lack of control, refusal to control, however you want to frame that. Just be in the presence of the meditation. Okay, here we go. So, with this breath, I recognize, I know again, recognizing that there is one infinite, ever present source that is the substance of all creation, that is the creator of all creation, that is all creation expressing itself in exquisite multiplicity, diverse ideas and expressions. No two blades of grass the same, no two grains of sand the same, no two anything in creation the same, by design, to express the imagination of creation, of mind, to expand the divine's experience of itself. I know this one to be whole, complete, and perfect. I know it to be infinite, nothing to be added, nothing to be removed. I know that it is always expressing itself in form. And at the same time, it is always the invisible surrounding the form. Whether we call it God, Buddha, Allah, Great Spirit, the Great Mystery, the silence, it is beyond a single definition of a name. It is so much more than can be conceived of in this human experience. And because I am made out of it, by it, to be it in form, I am always in communication with it. At the very center of my being, in this external physical realm, always connected, always communing, always interacting. Every form is the infinite expressing in form. And so, what is true of me must be true of all. And in the truth of one source, one substance, the divine is always interacting with the divine. And so I choose to see that. I choose to remember that my conscious contact with my higher power extends to my contact with every expression of it. I expand my experience of the divine to include all of creation, to include the invisible and the visible. To be aware that life is divinity expressing. To be aware that any sense of frustration is a limitation in my thinking as a human. Not good, not bad, not right, not wrong, simply is that. And so in those moments, I choose to remember that there is something beyond, that there is a place of calm that exists at the center of my being, at the center of all beings, that peace is available to me in every moment of chaos. That being at peace in the middle of chaos is in no way condoning, but simply bringing the presence of love and peace to every situation. Speak a word of healing for all of humanity, for all of the animal kingdom, the mineral kingdom, the vegetable kingdom, for creation itself. Healing in that our conscious contact is increasing, that our conscious contact with the essence of all nature is awakening a different way of being in this physical realm. A way that leads with love, kindness, and compassion. A way that recognizes that in one there is no power over, that there is simply power of, and living in the power of is living in cooperation with the oneness that we are, living in the spiritual principle and practice of a common welfare coming first, a letting go of the idea of separation and an embrace of every choice impacts the whole, that there is only one body of creation. And I'm grateful. I'm grateful for the activity of law that acts immediately and impartially on belief held in consciousness. That changing thinking really can and does change how life unfolds. I'm grateful for the activity of law that unfolds the thought of humanity exactly as it is held in awareness and in unawareness, giving me the awareness of what is available to be shifted. I'm grateful. And so it is in this gratitude, from this gratitude of knowing it's already complete, it's already done, that I am empowered to let go. And by letting go, I am simply referring to releasing any mental noise that would impede or alter any need to control. I free fall into the mystery of the unknown, of sheer faith and trust that life is unfolding itself quite perfectly. So I let go. I live in the awareness and in the affirmation of life, always willing to shift, always willing to know and respond from the ability within me to respond. So I let go. I move into this day with my eyes, ears, and heart wide open to see God, love, peace, power, presence, beauty, all that is divine in every moment of this day. Ashe. Shalom. Aho. Amen. Amen. And so it is. Stay, beloveds. Have a fabulous, fabulous day. And I hope to share this time with you again tomorrow.